Habib joins us now. Great to have you with us.
Pleasure.
So you said today you've never been more ashamed to be a South African.
Absolutely. I mean, I am utterly ashamed of being a South African, that we can resort to killing our brothers and sisters on the continent, that we can do so after all that they've done for us for our own freedom, is just unacceptable. And if you just see the television screens, you see the newspapers, you see South Africans standing around while others with pangas are actually hacking somebody to death. And you have to ask yourself, how barbaric have we become that we can look upon a fellow human being being killed and we don't do anything? And how barbaric, we can talk about freedom as much as we want. We can talk about Africanism and Pan-Africanism and humanity and inclusive development and socialism and communism. But when you don't show any sense of humanity in that simple act, then we should be ashamed. And I think that everybody, from the president to the Wits Vice Chancellor to every single citizen, should hang their heads in shame for what we've just allowed to happen over the last 10 days.
We'll get to what's going to happen with the march. Just tell me about the mood on the Wits campus, which does attract students from all over Africa.
So we have thousands of students from all over the continent and all over the world. And the mood has been very, very somber. There's been, to be honest, a large number of students and student organizations have come out very firmly against xenophobia. There's been marches, there's been candlelight vigils, there's a march happening on Wednesday, there's a choir that is playing. We've had a series of actions. Last week we had mobilization to support in solidarity of the students in Garissa University that were murdered. We are having all of these kinds of things, and there is a sense of solidarity. We've also sent a very strong message. I addressed a town hall meeting at least a week ago, and I said very clearly, if there is a Wits student or a Wits staff member that are caught in xenophobic acts, then they will face the full force of our disciplinary hearings. There is no compromise. We will not tolerate a situation like that to exist on our campus. We've got security heightened. Obviously, a large number of our international students are concerned. We are talking to them about how we can create a more safe environment and what we need to do in this regard. Our security is heightened, but there is a somber mood. And I think at Wits we all ashamed, actually, that this could happen in our name, that South Africans could do this, and that this institution that claims to be committed to a common humanity can allow this to happen in its midst.
Have you heard of anybody feeling threatened even?
We've had one case of a Zimbabwean student who was mugged. And we have engaged him in this regard. It wasn't on campus, it was off campus, it was in the inner city. And we've had that case. We are monitoring very carefully. We've put out a hotline for students to contact if they're feeling threatened, if they need to go to their residences and are feeling uncomfortable. We have security on standby to take them. We have a whole series of heightened security measures in place. But we shouldn't have to do this. I mean, it's shocking that we have to do this in the 21st century, and that is what is unacceptable.
It is shocking. Do you feel you've done enough? Because you have been quite critical, I understand, of government, saying more could have been done straight away.
Well, I think a couple of things. Firstly, I think government is coming to the party now. I saw a wonderful statement by Minister of Higher Education and Trading, Zwelinzima, to all the Vice Chancellors to begin to take heightened security measures to come out against xenophobia. I think I've heard the President and a number of ministers come out. We heard King Goodwill's and Zwelinzima come out. But I think we should have moved far quicker at two levels. Firstly, when this attack happened, we should have moved. Government should have moved faster. We should have had police on the streets, and we should have been held, the king and others, accountable. He should have not been saying this 10 days later. He should have been saying it day one. That's not what I meant. And that's saying this 10 days later is something that we have to hang our heads in shame about. The second thing is we haven't dealt with it. We've had this before. In 2008, we had the most horrific attacks, and we didn't act, and that is sad. And this time around, when we stabilize the situation, we have to learn what were the causal factors that created this and learn to put measures in place that resolve that. And the third thing is, why are people who are murdering human beings allowed to get away with it? Why is it that the Sunday Times reports out of 350 murders in the last 5 years of foreign nationals, one person has been prosecuted? How is it that you can pick up in the newspaper and see people standing around with a panga in their hands, killing a Mozambican national? And why aren't those people arrested? Why are they not arrested? Why is it that somebody picks up and fires a bullet from a hostel and the police aren't moving into the hostels and the security aren't moving into the hostels? That's the question. Why is our security services not working the way they should be? And that's the big question that we have to ask.
What is your message to people who say foreigners believe that are coming to take our jobs? You sit at this intersection, an institution trying to fill the skills deficit that we have. We have some incredible skills in Africa. And what about the academics? You know, if you are looking at East African history, you want a lecturer from that part of the world. I understand that our institutions are trying to attract talent from all over this continent and exchange skills and knowledge.
So I would address this at two levels. So the first is that there is a large amount of South Africans who believe that foreigners are net deficit on the society. I'm telling you, every research we've done, Wits University and any other university, shows that foreigners are a net contributor to the South African economy. We would have a far smaller economy if these people were not in our midst.
I've heard the same again and again.
And people don't want to listen to that. Now, frankly, my position is as simple. If you don't want to listen because of ignorance, because you do not know the real scenario, you should not be allowed to act in a way that undermines this country, and action should be taken. So if you are killing people, if you are attacking people, we should take you and lock you up. We should take action. And if there are political leaders, and if there are prominent people who are fanning the flames, I think they should be arrested on the spot. Let them experience a couple of nights in jail. Let's throw the book and we send a strong message around that. So that's the first thing. The second is, I do think we got to worry that the real backlash is happening in the most poverty-stricken environments. It is right amongst the poor. And we have to start asking ourselves, what is going on there? It's like we've created a context where people are ravaging and killing each other for the little slice of bread. And we look at Somalia and say, what has happened to that society? We look at many other parts of the world, the Congo, and we say, what has happened to that society? When we've created those very conditions in our own society. And I think we need to start asking some hard questions. It's not acceptable, and I think we need to take a firm police and security action against those who commit violence. But I think we must ask ourselves, what is the extreme polarization that we've created in our society, that this kind of barbarism, because that's what it is. It's barbaric behavior. When we allow people to be killed like that, we've lost our sense of humanity. We're no longer human beings. We've lost our sense of humanity, and that's when we must take action again.
All right, so tell me about Thursday. If people want to take part and show that they are against this, will Wits students be there as well?
Absolutely. We're going to have, and we are looking at condone absence. We are creating a set of circumstances where our students can be there. We are looking at a set of circumstances where our academic staff can be there. I think what we need on Thursday, we're hanging our heads in shame across the world. What we should send is an alternative image. Thousands and thousands of people across multiple sectors that say this is not happening in our name, that we stand for a common humanity, and these are our brothers and sisters, and that's what that march should be about, and that's what it's meant to be about. I think we should forget our divisions, our economic divisions, our racial divisions, our political divisions. On Thursday, we should be human beings who act in the collective interests of humanity and who stand by fellow Africans from what has happened to them. And I think that must start from the president to every single citizen in this country. On Thursday, we're not South Africans. We are all Africans.
And will you be marching? Academia often works in isolation. I think it's good. You were coming out maybe even with some very political, very controversial figures today, but maybe it's time to just say we cut across those previous silos in this country.
Absolutely. I think that's what Wits is saying. That on Thursday, we're going to go across our institutional boundaries, and we're going to hold hands with every South African across multiple divides. And we're going to say, today we walk in solidarity with the victims of this xenophobic attacks. No questions, no debates. We are here in solidarity with the victims, and we are saying that as South Africans we stand with our fellow brothers and sisters, and we call on government to take action against anybody who attacks a fellow African or attacks a fellow human being. And we ask them to throw the book at them and to take the firmest of actions against them.
All right, thank you so much for your time. Wits Vice Chancellor Adam Habib, and that march taking place on Thursday. We will have more on the xenophobic violence and the repercussions across Africa. We'll be looking at that after the break.